Hey there guys, I'm TheRoyalGorilla and welcome to my top 10 games of 2016. From some of the best shooters of all time, to more than a couple crushing disappointments, the games of 2016 have been a mixed bag across all platforms and genres. Now, since this is my personal top 10 list, it will obviously be based on my personal opinion, which means only games that I've actually played are eligible for the video, so sorry to any PlayStation fans, there won't be any mention of Uncharted or The Last Guardian in this video. So rather than getting annoyed that your favourite games aren't on this list, I want you guys to comment below and let me know what your favourite games of the year were. So, without further ado, let's get this video underway with number 10.
Number 10.
The Division is a game that I have mixed feelings about. From a critical point of view, the game is repetitive, the combat is dull and monotonous, and my god how I hate the Dark Zone. So why is it even on this list? I'm not really sure, to be honest, but I really loved my entire time with the game. For all its faults, the game is still absolutely gorgeous, and playing it with friends is one of my fondest memories from the entire year. The game's world itself was detailed and interesting, and I even enjoyed collecting all of the collectibles purely to expand my understanding of the game's universe and lore. And even though I do hate the Dark Zone, it did create some tense and story-worthy moments that no other game has really replicated since.
Number 9.
Grow Up is charming, relaxing, unique, and set out to expand and improve everything that the first game had already done right, and somehow Grow Up managed it. Whereas the first game focused on a small area with the movement mechanics being the true star of the game, Grow Up simply made that area bigger, giving you far more opportunities to play and explore with the game's mechanics. Oh, and have I already mentioned how goddamn gorgeous this game is, because it's goddamn gorgeous.
Number 8.
Dishonored II is the follow-up to my favourite game of 2012, Dishonored. Whereas the original game was my favourite of its respective year, Dishonored 2 sits at an albeit honourable 8th place, because I just didn't quite fall in love with it as I did the first. Dishonored 2 aimed to expand the Dishonored world into new regions, new characters, and even more political unrest, and it certainly succeeded in doing that. On paper, Dishonored 2 is a brilliant game, and definitely a worthy successor to the first. So perhaps I've just become cynical, or jumping between as many games as I have just didn't give me the right amount of time with this game to make me fall in love with it like I did the first.
Number 7.
Planet Coaster takes me back to my childhood. I used to love the RollerCoaster Tycoon series, and thanks to RollerCoaster Tycoon World, that series is now dead to me. So, all hail Planet Coaster. This game is just a joy to play. The level of freedom it gives when it comes to creation is unmatched in any game, full stop. Something that seems such a small and insignificant thing like objects being able to clip inside one another opens the number of possibilities in the game to pretty much fulfill your wildest dreams. If you have a vision for a theme park, Planet Coaster is where you need to go to make it a reality.
Number 6.
Battlefield 1 walked all over Call of Duty this year, which is actually a really refreshing change. Anyone that knows me will know that I have always preferred Battlefield over Call of Duty. Large-scale battles, vehicular combat and squad play will always beat the run-and-gun rock-paper-scissors gameplay of Call of Duty, well, at least in my personal opinion. The World War I backdrop made the game feel fresh and new, despite it in all honesty playing the exact same as most other Battlefield games. And for once, the single-player campaign was actually engaging and interesting, albeit not very historically accurate. But then again, if I was looking for historical accuracy, I wouldn't be playing Battlefield.
Number 5.
Titanfall 2 is the only multiplayer game that I actually feel like I'm quite good at. Whereas in Battlefield I play for fun, in Titanfall 2 I play for that top spot on the leaderboard. It's actually really weird because that's not the kind of gamer that I am by any means. It happened with the original Titanfall and the same with this. Something about the game just connects with me, and using the movement system and using the Titans just feels intuitive and engaging. Oh, and of course, I can't not mention the single player. The biggest letdown for the first game, and the best part of the sequel. In fact, it's probably one of the best first-person shooter campaigns I've ever played.
Number 4.
Watch Dogs 2 is brilliant. Grand Theft Auto 5 is still my favourite open world game of all time, but Watch Dogs 2 came very close to dethroning the reigning champ. I actually enjoyed the original for what it was, but Watch Dogs 2 improves on every single aspect, giving us characters that are actually likeable and form a connection with the player, a story that I was eager to see through to completion, and an open world which was both beautiful and filled with mayhem and opportunities. If you haven't played Watch Dogs 2 yet, you're really missing out on one of the best open world games ever made.
Number 3.
Hitman snuck up on me like Agent 47. I never quite expected to enjoy the game as much as I did, and now it ends the year as my third favourite game. I was originally very skeptical at the idea of an episodic Hitman game, but in the end it resulted in a game which I probably came back to more than any other game this year. Ignoring the content model for a minute, the game itself was brilliantly made. Every mission was interesting and had tons of unique ways to complete each contract. I always looked forward to the next mission, and between them I actually wanted to go back and perfect the ones that I had already completed. I feel as though if it was released in one big chunk, I wouldn't have played it half as much as I did, because I wouldn't have that incentive to head back into each mission and replay them. So at the end of the day, I'm actually really happy with the episodic nature of the game.
Number 2.
I know it's cheating, but since many of the games currently available for the HTC Vive are self-described as experiences rather than actual games, I thought it was justifiable to group a bunch of them together. If you've never had a chance to experience virtual reality, I can't recommend it enough. And with the release of the PlayStation VR and headsets such as the Gear and the Daydream, it's easier than ever to get involved in virtual reality. I think the 3 games that stood out to me the most this year were Job Simulator, Space Pirate Trainer and The Lab. Each of these games really set out to prove the power of the HTC Vive and showcase what VR was capable of. Job Simulator was quirky, funny, and played like nothing I'd ever seen before. Who knew working in an office could be so much fun? Space Pirate Trainer was one of the first and best Stoopers released. The soundtrack is awesome, the guns are varied and interesting, and the graphics showcase the peak of what the current headsets are capable of. The Lab is the furthest from a full game out of all of these, presenting itself as more of a series of tech demos than an actual game. Each of the demos really showcase what the HTC Vive is capable of. I adore the archery game, and nothing has even come close to the graphical fidelity of the Portal demo. That is some seriously good looking VR.
And at number 1.
Doom knows what it is, and is unapologetically brutal and basic in its approach. I knew this game would be my game of the year when I first played it. It was just a symphony of blood, gore, explosions, which is pretty much all I want from a video game. It doesn't try to be clever, it doesn't want you to have a deep or meaningful experience as you traverse the game's world. It wants you to stick the barrel of your shotgun down a demon's throat and laugh as its brains and guts rain down on you as you blast it a new asshole. Doom is a video game, and that's all it tries to be. To me, it's almost the perfect game. I just want more now. Oh, but let's just forget the multiplayer. So there you have it, guys. That was a rundown of my top 10 games of 2016. Now, I know that there were probably some pretty big games that you were expecting to see on this list, so I'll quickly go over a couple of honourable mentions now, and just say a few words about each one. Overwatch, technically, is a fantastic game. I'm just not really into hero shooters, or multiplayer for that matter. Superhot's just awesome. Mafia 3 opened up the holiday game season, and while being a very enjoyable game, was knocked out of this list by some of the other open world titles. Dark Souls 3 just makes me angry. I can't understand why people play it. Inside was really enjoyable, but quite a mindfuck. Steep is great fun, but every single time that I saw a GoPro advert or my character drinking a Red Bull, I just grew to hate the game that little bit more. Infinite Warfare wasn't bad. I love the zombies mode, but absolutely hate the multiplayer. Right, that's it then guys. As I said before, this is all my personal opinion. So rather than getting irate in the comment section that I don't agree with you, just comment below and let everyone know what your favourite games of the year were. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then I'd really appreciate a like, comment, and of course subscribe for more. Oh, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I've been TheRoyalGorilla. Over and out.
His name is Luke and he's more than your average gamer. No ordinary let's player. Know about Easter eggs much better. Da 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 da. His name is Luke, aka TheRoyalGorilla. Even bigger than the giant Godzilla. Follow him in every game he goes. Da da.